We have with us HCL Technology CEO Mr. C. Vijay Kumar. Sir, many thanks for speaking to PTI.
It's my pleasure.
Let's start with the Q4 numbers. The Q4 net profit was a bit muted. You have given a guidance of 3 to 5% for FY25. What does the demand environment look like?
Yeah, starting with the Q4 performance was pretty much in line with our expectations. Our services business grew 3% and software business declined in line with the seasonality in the business, which helped us deliver 5.4% growth in the services business and 5% growth in the overall business. And we delivered a good growth in a challenging environment. Probably it's the highest in the industry from an overall constant currency growth perspective. And margins, we had guided 18 to 19, we came at 18.2, quite in line with the guided range. Now looking at FY25, we have made some assumptions like the discretionary spend environment would be similar in 25 to that of FY24. And then with that kind of assumption, we forecasted 3 to 5% growth. And FY24 was, in addition to whatever happened in the discretionary spend, we had large deals and very quick execution of the large deals, which helped us in the growth. And this year as well, the pipeline looks very good, and we expect to convert some large opportunities soon, which will definitely help in delivering the growth this year.
In your assessment, will FY25 work out better than FY24? Analysts are pinning their hope on recovery in H2 of FY25. How do you see this whole environment playing out? How do you see the client spendings going forward?
See, I think if you look at across the industry, there is a good mix of revenue which is really coming from the discretionary spending patterns of the clients. So I think in this environment that is subdued, so that will definitely be visible in 25. If things change sometime during the year, then you will have a much better outcome. If things are remaining similar to what it was in 24, then you will have a subdued growth in 25. So coming to our own positioning, I think 3 to 5 is a good growth in the current environment, and probably it's the highest guidance among the tier 1 providers.
When you say good growth in the current environment, can you define the current environment? How is it looking in terms of where clients are looking to spend? How is it looking in terms of discretionary spends on projects that are, coming into your fold? What does really this environment look like?
I think there are definitely good traction in data, in cybersecurity, in both cloud migration to hyperscalers and building private AI stacks. All of this is kind of catalyzed by Gen AI. I think that's kind of triggering spend in multiple areas like what I called out, and that's I think going to be the key themes which will drive the spend.
Are decisions continuing to be delayed? Our projects, our discretionary spends, do they continue to be under pressure as we speak?
Yes, discretionary spend continues to be under pressure, and decision making on efficiency led programs are happening at the right pace. I don't think there are any delays, barring some one-off situations where there are delays, but largely efficiency led programs are being driven in a timely manner, both in decision making and then in the timelines for execution. They are pretty deterministic there, but some of the transformation programs, I think customers are either kind of taking a slightly slower pace in which they are moving, or they are cutting down on some, pausing them for a few quarters or few months and then reinitiating it. So that's what it is.
Let's break it vertical wise. Technology, healthcare and life sciences vertical seem to be showing a bit of softness, but TMT and manufacturing showed good growth. Going forward, how do you see these segments playing out?
I think TMT will grow well, tech, telecom, media. I think I continue to see a good growth ahead based on the bookings that we have done and all of that. And financial services will have some headwinds now, because we've had a stellar growth for 2 years in financial services, significantly ahead of industry. So there will be some headwinds, like some deals will transition to an offshore model, and then some deals like State Street, we've divested the JV, so that will have an impact on the revenue. So financial services will have these dynamics, but all other verticals will look good.
There is another parameter where you have done better than peers, and that is headcount growth. You have added 2,700 plus employees during the March quarter. What is the outlook on headcount and hiring for HCLTech in FY25, and what can we expect in terms of campus hiring for this fiscal?
Yeah. So FY24 headcount addition should not come as a surprise, because we've had a good growth. We had 5.4% in the current environment. So that obviously needs good talent to execute, and that's why our headcount is growing. And coming to FY25, of course, a lot will depend on how the year shapes up. At this point, we've planned at least 10,000 freshers to be hired during this year. Now, depending on how the year shapes up, the lateral hiring numbers will fluctuate based on that.
What about the wage hikes and promotions?
We have gone through all of that in this year. In fact, we had held back the increases for mid and senior management, but last quarter we released that for mid and senior management. Now, for FY25, our wage hike comes a little later in the year, so it's a little premature to talk about it now.
Let's talk about zero in on the US market. How do you see the demand environment in US? What are the trends that you see when it comes to digital transformation? And is there a point where IT companies will consciously try to hedge their dependency on US markets, or you don't see that happening because it is the biggest chunk of your revenue?
It is, and it is 64% of our revenue, and we've done very well. We've done 6.8% growth in the US market, and it continues to be a very strong geography with good mind share, presence in a lot of big clients, and so we are very positive about the outlook for the US.
Let's talk about Gen AI. That is a point of interest for everyone. Have Gen AI deals started to contribute noticeably to your revenue? How do you see the AI spends by companies growing, and how do you look to tap or capitalize on these opportunities?
So we are very well equipped to capitalize on these opportunities. In fact, we launched a platform called HCLTech AI Force. This platform helps the end-to-end life cycle of the software development and product engineering. While you have co-pilots, they are largely focused on a certain dimension, certain segment of the entire software engineering life cycle. But to really get full benefit, you needed to have tools which will address the entire life cycle, and that's really what HCLTech AI Force is going to do. So I think we are very well positioned. We have good talent. We have already trained a significant number of people, more than 25,000. This year we expect at least 50,000 people will be fully trained, leveraging generative AI. And more important than leveraging generative AI, people who can, the AI developer community is what we are focused on. We already have 2,000 plus people who are focused in this area. And there are many small projects, POCs, which are all sub $10 million. We expect things to scale up, but more than these projects scaling up, the most important area is data. But that's where a lot of investments will go, and we are quite prepared to address that.
Given the overall environment, is this a good time for cherry picking acquisitions, good companies which are available at good valuation, and will you be active in acquisitions?
Yes, we have a certain strategy on acquisitions in certain areas, like we did a one in automotive a couple of quarters ago. We have some thinking in semiconductor. We have in some vertical capabilities we will focus. It will be small acquisitions. That's what we.
Which are the areas of interest to you right now?
Automotive is an area of interest. Semiconductor. In some verticals, we may look at platforms which will drive much stronger annuity revenues with our clients. So, and maybe some geographies like Japan, these are areas where we continue to look for acquisitions.
Let me wrap up by asking you, what is your outlook going into the next 4 quarters? Are you optimistic going, looking at the demand environment, the way it is shaping up? Are you going into FY25 with optimism on deals and on clients and project closures?
I'm always optimistic, but to be a little bit more pragmatic about the assumptions, we've kind of had a cautious optimism in our planning and guidance for the year.
Many thanks for speaking to PTI. So it was wonderful catching up with you.
Thank you, Momita.